This is the story time of how I am proudly the reason for my parents' divorce. Okay, first things first, you guys need to know that my dad is like a psychopath. Like, my dad's super toxic growing up. We had to move out of our childhood home in less than a day while he was at work because we couldn't even tell him that we were leaving. And by we, I mean my sisters and my mom and I. Like, he just is not a good person. And like, none of my sisters really talk to him. We just like don't fuck with him. He's not my dad, you know? So I was 16 years old when we left. But then for like the next 2 years, my dad kept dodging divorce papers. And like, my mom would always try and get him served or whatever, and he literally would just dodge them every single time. And my mom was fucking livid. She was like, I just want to divorce this man so badly. For 2 years, she was trying. So this is where I come in. And I'm like, you know what? My mom's my entire world. If you're so stressed about getting these divorce papers signed, I'll serve him myself. And my mom and sisters are like, bitch, are you sure? Like, this man is scary. And I'm like, yeah, mom wants a divorce. Mom's gonna get a fucking divorce. And I'm gonna make sure that happens. But was I so beyond terrified? Absolutely. The man is literally scary. So I send my dad a text and I'm like, hey, let's grab dinner. Mind you, I have not talked to this man in like 2 years. And why would he believe that I really just wanted to sit down and like get dinner? But he believed it. So I was like, let's get dinner this time, this place. Let's do that. He's like, perfect. Let's do it. So before I served him, I had to meet with the guy who was serving the papers. And this guy was supposed to be like my safety person. Like, he was gonna make sure nothing bad happened. And so when I go up and I meet him, this man's like 5'6". I'm like, we're literally the same fucking height. Like, I'm screwed. So we go through the safety plan. It's like, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. In the middle of Illuminati's, like in the middle of this extremely popular Chicago pizza restaurant. The guy, this random man and I are being like, this is the safety plan, this is how you're gonna escort, this is exactly what's gonna happen. And it's like, oh my God. My mom and sisters are texting me like literally praying for you, so scared for you, but make sure to get pictures to make sure we showed that he was served. I'm sitting there like, I'm about to have a fucking panic attack. And I'm like, I'm doing this for my mom, I'm doing this for my mom. He comes in, he sits down, and I'm like, I'm just waiting for the man to come and serve him. Because I don't want to have a conversation. I don't like this man. It's my father. I don't like him. He comes and is like, you have been served. And I sprint. I get the fuck out of there. My dad's yelling, screaming. In the middle of Illuminati. So I'm fully sprinting away with the man at this point. Like, we are running, me and my 5'6" little buddy, and we're running away. And like, my dad literally couldn't catch up with us. We had to like go down an alley and stuff. It was literally fucking terrifying. I was out of breath and I was like, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. He's like, you're fine, you're fine. And then I called my mom and I'm like, we did it, we did it. And she was like crying with excitement. And that's the story of how I'm literally the reason for my parents' divorce, and we celebrate it every year. And my mom is, that's definitely why I'm my mother's favorite child. Here is the story time on how my mom convinced me my sister was dying / kind of dead. Context about the story that you need to know is my sister was in school in Michigan and my mom and I were living in Chicago. So I get a call from my mom in the middle of the night and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, sleeping. And she's like, okay, we have to go to Michigan to get your sister. And I'm like, why? What's wrong with her? Like, I knew she was sick, but I just thought it was a cold. She's like, she's not doing well. They're not sure if she's gonna make it. I'm like, not sure if she's gonna, what the fuck do you mean? She literally just had a cold. Like, Livy, I don't know, just like, I'm coming to get you. We have to drive to Michigan. And it was like a 4-hour drive. She's like, we're headed, we gotta go now. I'm like, okay. So at this point in the car ride, I'm in full tears and I'm, okay, lovely. And I'm crying because I'm thinking, I'm about to lose my sister, who is my best friend. She's my entire world, and I'm like hysterically crying. My mom was also being super vague about the details because I literally just think she didn't know. But all I knew is that we were getting there super quickly because they wanted to transfer her to do open heart surgery at a different hospital to see if she's gonna make it. Mind you, my mom is the most dramatic person on this planet. So in this car ride, my mom is like literally being like, God, I can't believe I'm gonna lose my favorite daughter. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, Mom, what the fuck? She's like, what am I gonna do? She's leaving me with you and your other crazy sister. I'm stuck with the crazies. I'm like, Mom, I'm right fucking here. She's like, I just cannot believe this. Like, what am I gonna do without her? She's like my favorite person on the planet. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even know you guys were this close. And my mom just kept saying like, I just hope she makes it until we get there. So I'm like, what am I about to walk in on? This is horrible. To make matters worse, I decided to bring my loser ex-boyfriend with me because like, he was living with me at the time, whatever. I was 17. That's a whole different story time. And he was in the back being like, my ex just texted me. I'm like, why are you telling me this? Like, you know I'm gonna get fucking mad and my sister's like dying. Like, why are you bringing this up? So at this point, my mom is like bawling her eyes out, like, how am I gonna pay for a funeral? And my ex and I are fighting. I'm like, you dumb fuck, why are you texting your ex? My sister's literally dead. So it's just like very chaotic at this moment. So we get to Michigan and I'm fully expecting her to be like tube down her throat, not well, right? So I walk into my sister's hospital room and I see her there and she's sitting straight up. She's sitting like this. She's like, took you fucking long enough, mom. And so I immediately start freaking out on my mom. I'm like, mom, like, why did you convince me she was dead? What is wrong with you? She's like, Olivia, I had to prepare you for the worst. I didn't know what we were walking into. And I'm like, you didn't need to convince me that she was literally dead. And my sister was like, yeah, mom, that's really fucking weird. But then of course my mom's like, girls, I don't know what you want from me. I'm trying my best. I'm like, okay, mom, like, whatever. It did turn out that my sister did have a really serious heart condition. And I then proceeded to stay in the hospital with her, like, the next 5 days. Because my mom had to go home to work. And I say work because we tracked her and she was with her boyfriend the whole time. No, but she actually did have to work. And my mom was like, Olivia, I just cannot sleep in a hospital chair for 5 days. Like, you know I have a bad back. Like, I just cannot do that. And I'm like, okay, mom, I'll stay with Sissy. It's fine. But yeah, my mom literally convinced me my sister was like fully gone. When like she did have a heart condition, but like she was fine.
Story time about why I will never go on a date ever again. So a little background information. I was 20 years old and I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship. Now, I had just gotten out of this relationship like a month before I went on this date. And I had absolutely no intentions of looking for a guy, but I was up for, flirting with them and going on some dates. Well, the one day I am at the gym in my apartment building. And there's this guy who's walking on the treadmill next to me. And I get off and he gets off at the same time and he starts up a conversation with me. And we had started talking about how I never went jet skiing. And he was like, oh, well, do you want to go jet skiing on Tuesday? So I just decided to put myself out there. I said yes, and bam, we had a date the next day. So I meet him at his car, and we go on this date. He did end up paying, which was very nice. But anyways, we're on the jet ski and we're in the middle of the water. I was kind of weirded out because I didn't think that we would have to be that close with each other. Like for part 2. Part 2 about why I will never go on a date ever again. So like I said, he takes us to the beach, we get on the jet ski, and it's just 2 of us on one jet ski, which I was low-key uncomfortable about because I thought that we were each going to get our own, so there would be no touching involved. And after the shit that he pulled, I definitely wish that I had my own jet ski. So apparently he's jet skied all of his life, he knew how to do this. Well, we go pretty far out from land because he knew the people and he didn't have to listen to any of the rules. He offered to let me drive it, but I did not want to because of the fact that he was going super fast and I did not want to do that shit. Well, listen to this. He flips us off the jet ski, right? And when he does that, all of a sudden it hits me. I am in the middle of the ocean. Like, there's sharks, there's other things, there's creepy things, mysterious things we don't even know about. I literally start crying, and he thinks it's funny. He gets on the jet ski and literally drives away. I'm not even joking, he left me there for 3 minutes. I could barely see land. And then he ended up coming back, and he was like, ha ha ha, da da da. I never saw him.
Am I wrong for high-fiving a stranger who humiliated my boyfriend? My boyfriend and I go to the climbing gym regularly. He is really into it, and I just started climbing a few times a week. He's stupidly competitive about it and quietly insults beginners who are not as good, which makes me feel self-conscious because I'm a beginner. Last night, we were at the climbing gym again, and he was doing a V6. There was about 6 people taking turns on the problem, probably because it's a newly installed route and they were all failing. Then, a girl came and flashed it. She made it so easy, but at the end, she didn't hold the final hold for 5 seconds, and my boyfriend called her out after she was done. Holding the last hold for 5 seconds is supposed to be the right way of finishing a route, but she was doing it so easily, she definitely could have. I think he was just being salty because she did it when he couldn't. I gave her a high five because she was walking towards me and did amazing at the problem, and knocked my boyfriend off his high horse, and she was surprised but high-fived me back. My boyfriend turned to me and gave me a what the fuck look and wouldn't talk to me the rest of the night. When we were heading home, he ranted that I couldn't be trusted to watch his back if I chose to take a stranger's side over him. I was shocked that's what he took from the climb and told him he shouldn't have nitpicked her when she clearly climbed it correctly, and he got mad and argued I was supposed to take his side over people I don't even know. If he gets this upset over something as simple as this, I don't even want to picture how he is when shit really hits the fan, so you might want to reconsider your relationship. But again, we don't know a lot. We're just taking what you're giving us. So, what a baby.